presentation. It's great to be here. Lovely venue here in New York City. So it's great. I love this city. You can you come in, you walk from the train station to your hotel. You walk from your hotel to wherever you have to do business. So it's interesting. The rush hour here, the pedestrian traffic congestion is what slowed me down. My name is Casey Dinges. I'm here on behalf of ASCE and our 150,000 individual members. ASCE's been around since 1852. We work in your communities in all aspects of the infrastructure: water, dams, roads, rail, and much more. Every 4 years, ASCE assembles a team of infrastructure experts across 16 major sectors of infrastructure to evaluate the current condition of the nation's infrastructure, the amount of investment needed to keep it working for us and our economy. So whether it's potholes or congestion, I can give you a little forecast of our 2017 report card. Road conditions have actually improved slightly in the United States. Traffic congestion, however, has gotten worse. Whether it's rusty bridges, you may have been tipped off that America is not doing well on infrastructure. The cumulative grade point average across the 16 categories we looked at was a D+. The good news, that's in slight improvement from 2013 when it was a D. You see a total investment need by the year 2020 of $3.6 trillion. I used to think $1 trillion was a lot of money until I started looking at this issue. Let me scale that number for you a little bit. Out of the $3.6 trillion, about $2.2 trillion is met through existing revenue streams and funding sources. So that really leaves a gap of 1.6. When we first did this study, that was an 8-year number, so the math is pretty similar. It's about $200 billion a year, which is the gap if you look across the 16 categories. The inland waterway system. When we talk about transportation in this country, people think of roads and bridges. They often don't think of rivers and canals and the waterway systems that we have. Our nation's waterways and rivers are the hidden backbone of our freight network. They carry the equivalent, get this, of 51 million truck trips per year. So imagine if all that commerce had to be on the roadway in terms of trucks. We already have a lot of truck traffic. I'm from the state of Virginia. Interstate 81 is a heavy trucking corridor already. Yet on these marine highways, there are an average of 52 service interruptions each day throughout the system. Projects to repair and replace aging locks and dredge channels take decades to approve and complete, exacerbating the problem further. 1 in 9 bridges in the United States is structurally deficient. There are about 600,000 bridges in the United States, about 65,000 or so, or maybe a little less now, are structurally deficient. That doesn't mean these bridges are about to fall down. But they're bridges that require inspection at least annually, as opposed to the kind of the normal biannual bridge inspection. And it also means that there are elements of that bridge that need careful looking after. There's another category of bridges called functionally obsolete bridges. That's another 60,000 bridges in the United States. And those are bridges that don't have structural problems, but they're bridges that you would not design in this era. They may lack shoulders. The approaches may be such that modern truck traffic really can't use them easily. So the geometry is off. The clearances may not be good for modern traffic. So that's another classification that needs to be looked after. In sectors where investment was made by both public and private sectors and innovative solutions pursued, the grades rose. So I often get asked by members of Congress, why do these grades matter? What does a D+ even mean? So we asked some economists to help us answer the question, what if we fail to act in addressing this issue? So we have a series of economic reports called the Failure to Act, which look at the economic impact of poor infrastructure and the impact it will have on America's economic bottom line, both in the next 10 years and in the future if we fail to close this gap. If we continue to bury our head in the sand and not increase investments, the problems escalate and cause the following effects by the year 2020. U.S. GDP will underperform by almost $4 trillion. Families will see their household disposable income drop by $3,400 each year, costing $34,000 by 2025 and over $100,000 per family by the year 2040. So we have three solutions. These are pretty high level, but some of them get at what you guys are all about. So the first one is that America's infrastructure needs bold leadership and a compelling vision. That strong national vision must originate with strong leadership at all levels of government to find solutions such as creating partnerships with the private sector to fund and build infrastructure projects. Secondly, we need to build in sustainability and resilience into our infrastructure. And I think asset management can play a huge role with that. And I think the challenge is getting more complex. When ASCE uses the term sustainability, it's with the triple bottom line in mind. It's not just the environment that you're going to think about, it's the economy, and it's also social support for the project. So you really need those three things to have a sustainable project, if you will, a three-legged stool. Any one of those legs is missing in a significant way, you're going to have a problem. And then resilience, with all the uncertainty looking forward with, climate change issues, sea level issues, particularly any kind of development in a coastal environment is going to be a huge issue going forward. So, asset management is kind of entering an uncertain and even dangerous world as we kind of look ahead. And finally, we must agree on prioritizing and funding strategic new investments in infrastructure that strongly position our nation for future success. While infrastructure investment must be increased at all levels, it must also be prioritized and executed, again, asset management, according to well-conceived plans that both complement the national vision and focused on system-wide outputs. Good news for the U.S. is that the grades did improve in a number of categories, which is evidence that these key solutions are being put into action across the country. There may be a lot of catching up to do, but the trends are promising. The grand challenge specifically is to reduce the life cycle cost of infrastructure by 50% by the year 2025. So that's a huge reach. A lot of people said, you guys are crazy. We're not even sure yet how we're going to measure this. We don't even have a baseline to work from yet, but the board adopted this. This came out of our Industry Leaders Council. And I think the feeling is that the public is demanding more, the profession can do more, and we're going to have to go this way if we're going to have public support for these investments. There's going to have to be better bang for the buck. The bottom line is that making needed investments in infrastructure will help save American families and businesses billions of dollars, but without action, it will cost us if we do not. In closing, I'll close by encouraging you to get your state's facts on our new free app, Save America's Infrastructure. We'll release the next report card in March of 2017, and we'll see how things, and we'll see how things are going there. So that includes my remarks at this point, and I look forward to the Q&A later on. And again, thank you for the invitation to be here.